Joshua, my brother, I hope this message finds you well. Nego created a video nyana hore tlhaloganya pila re hirahala mo systeming mone. I'm looking at your ERD, the way that it is, and I'm seeing some problems with it. I want us to talk about them. I think what we can do, we can start with the most central aspect of the system, which is the message. So we can talk a little bit about it first. Let's see what we can talk about it. Something. Okay, cool. Yeah, let's see what we can talk about it now. We can start by talking about the message table. So if we want to create an ERD, the first thing that we need to do is to define what a message is. And we can use this screenshot here to define what a message is. The first thing about a message is that it has obviously somebody who sent it. I don't know if you see that. A message has from. I don't know, this one makes sense. A message has a from, which means it's coming from somebody. And then a message has a to, right? And our to in this case is Chico. This is me, meaning the message is intended to go to me. Or we can say it's a to, or it's a recipient. Recipient. This is who the message is intended to go to. The person who's going to receive the message, right? And then a message has time. We can see here. Time may not be very crucial, but then maybe let's say we want to add it just for the start. A message has a time. We want to know what time the message was sent. You see that, Musne? And lastly, a message has text, the actual content. This Ola is the text. This is the actual text. This is the actual message. If this is not there, then there's a from to recipient time, but then there's no dintang or Ola or a sharp. We will do it then, or you mentioned the analysis on the ERD. So this text here is very important, which is the reason why we are doing it. It is because I want to send you something, and this is what I want to send you. So looking at your ERD, there is user ID, there's time, which are good, but then there's no actual message, there's no text. So that means we need to fix it and add here text or message. It doesn't make sense. Message text, but then for the sake of this, we'll call it a text. That's what this is the text here. When I'm sending you a message, in other words, I'm gonna add, you mention analysis, and then I'm gonna click send. The database is gonna say, okay, who is it coming from, who is it going to, what time, and what is the text. The text is this here. That's exactly what we're talking about. That's a message, right? So that means we need to add text here. We already have time, but then another thing that is missing here, we don't know who the message is going to. So now we need to have a recipient here, right? We're gonna say recipient. I don't know if I spell my recipient correctly. That's what we need to have. And also what we need to have a from. The message is coming from somebody. So that from, we're gonna call him the sender. Who's the sender of the message? Who's the person that sent the message? And this is how it's gonna look. So with that in mind, then I see it's a foreign key. I'm gonna remove this, it's not needed. And then I'm gonna change it, I'm gonna make this a primary key. Why am I making it a primary key? Because this is the message ID. Just like here, this message has its own ID. This message has its own ID. All the messages here have their own ID, right? That makes it unique from all the other messages. So we're gonna say we have a message ID, we have a time that the message was sent, we have the actual message or the text, we have the recipient, we have the sender. That's where we can start with it, right? Now let's see how we're gonna make it work now. So I'm gonna remove this for a second, and then I'll come back to it. So we're gonna say this guy here is the sender, and then we're gonna make a recipient. We're gonna say this guy here is who? The recipient. So what are we saying? We're saying Shiko Matlala, whose contact is 07657, sent Zweli many messages. As we can see here, I sent you many messages. These are many messages, right? I can send you many messages. I cannot only send you one messages, right? And it also means what? I send you many messages, and then so now Shiko Matlala can send. That's the relationship. The relationship is that I can send. Shiko Matlala can send many messages, right? And then Zweli can receive many messages. That's exactly what this is saying here. I don't know if you see that. So then if that's the case, then under sender, we're going to say this is the foreign key. Under the recipient, we're going to say this is the foreign key as well. And that's the whole chat thingy. I don't know if it makes sense. The chat box, it was not really necessary. And I'll explain why. The chat box was not really necessary. For now, the chat box was not really necessary, but then that's exactly what we're seeing here. This is a one-on-one message. Shiko can send one or many messages to the recipient. The sender can send one or many messages to the recipient. The recipient can receive many messages from the sender. I don't know if it makes sense. Now, according to the database rules, you see these two tables here are the same. If you look carefully, these two tables are the same. Let me do this. These two tables are the same. The only difference is the sender and the receiver. But then everything inside is the same. So if it's the same, what we do is we combine the two and make it the same thing. I don't know if it makes sense. And then we combine the two and make it the same thing. And then we're going to end it up having something like this. So once we combine them, we're going to have a user, right? A user can send messages and a user can receive messages. Now let me do it this way so that it makes a little bit of sense. Receive. That's where we are. A user can be a sender or a receiver in the same time. I don't know if you see that. That's exactly how it all starts, right? If that's the whole chat system according to this. So then that's the whole ERD. Sure, my brother, tell me what you think about this.